Hi guys, this is Allison from ALLYKAT Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect, a dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are in the description of this video. If you want pyramids, paintings, artwork, whatever, commissions, I customize a lot of things, and check me out, ALLYKATCreations211.com. That's where you can view a lot of my artwork and see what is available. Unfortunately, it's not a store, it's just a portfolio. So if you would like anything, my email address is there, and on the website, you can reach out to me. Hi, everybody. So, before I begin the philosophy of war, this is my fun day yesterday. I got this really cool shirt yesterday, and I went to the mall here. I don't really often go to malls. I want to build a bear. I know it's childish, but there's a really cool Chinese New Year dragon that kind of looks like my dragon guide. So I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I have to have it. Didn't have it in the store. I wanted to twirl around and be a child and put the heart in, and no, that didn't work out. But I found this Native American store in the mall, never knew it was there. I haven't really walked around besides like 2 places in the mall. And I've been trying to find Native American nations people to be more respectful that has come from this area to help me clear a ley line. So I walked in like, yes, like there's authentic nations people behind the counter. I have to talk with them. So I was looking around the store. They had gems, they had sage, they had a lot of ponchos and beautiful things. And the guy came around the counter and started like trying to sell me everything in the store. And I'm like, oh, not today. But I told him about my spirit guide, but okay, so my spirit guide looks like this, but it's Norse. It's a berserker. But I also have Native American guides that are helping me currently. So I wanted to honor my guide with a shirt with my bigger guide, my bear. So I got this really cool shirt yesterday to support the store, but to pacify the guy, to give me some information. And unfortunately, he's out from the southwest. And I asked him if he knows anybody or any of the nation's people here to, next time I come in and support the store, to let me know. I need some contacts. So he's very cool. Very, very cool. So I an honor to them. If you're in the Northwest Indiana, South Lake Mall in Hobart, go check them out. Really cool store, beautiful things in there. I got some Valentine's Day gifts for the Vikings girls. They'll love it. I got them some dream catchers and some bracelets. I got 2 shirts. We got to support our local communities, don't we? So I know this is early. I'm uploading this early. I have my coffee. Trying to get things done today. So today, the art of the philosophy of war, I want to say the art of war, still very good. This chapter, we're going to read a prayer for world harmony. The last chapter was the prayer for the worldwide. We want to strive for harmony. The only way we're going to have harmony, and I didn't even read this yet, is going within. So all the other videos that I do, the Hermit's Journey, the Spiritual Soul Advice, the ponderings that I do, they're all trying to collectively help you become harmonious within your own self. You can't want harmony without having harmonious frequency within yourself. You got to do the work. You got to do the healing. You have to unfold the layers that are you to come into that harmony and approach that healing process from a stance of love and not of fear. When we do things out of fear, the frequency drops. When you do it out of love, it's connecting straight to Prime Creator Source. So it's up to you to do the work to be harmonious. You know, as peaceful as our nation's people were back in the day, they had to be the warrior in the garden, and they had to defend and take life. Unfortunately, they're the Aboriginals, and many of us come from lineages from them. I know I have some Native DNA somewhere in me, and I have a lot of guides. We gotta understand the concept of being the warrior in the garden, and we have to understand what it is to emote and frequent out harmony so it reaches other people. But that only starts when you're doing the inner work on yourself. A prayer for world harmony. Quote, prayer is an aspiration of the soul toward the divine. It may also be a request, not for creature comforts or physical things, but for spiritual food, light, love, courage, protection, and help. In fact, prayer creates a magnetic line of force which unites you with the supply. The repetition of this prayer is like a projectile fired through the Earth's atmosphere, creating a passage through which the one life must necessarily flow. End quote. The voice of Isis, the Curtises. We're going to be reading that soon on this channel. Quote, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. End quote, St. Luke. Oh no, I did something. Hang on. I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens when it's PDF and off my computer. There we go. Overhanging clouds. The remarkable and worldwide acclaim and favorable response which has been accorded to President Roosevelt's recent, quote, 3-point peace plan, end quote, even by Hitler, the dictator of Germany, is a splendidly encouraging sign that the 50 nations to whom was sent really desire permanent peace. The constructive currents of international harmony thus generated and prospect the United States will end its traditional policy of isolation, will do much to draw the nations closer together and help to neutralize the selfish and antagonistic currents formerly generated by intense nationalism. But there is still a tremendous amount of old karma that was not worked out and adjusted by the World War and subsequent events. It is this tremendous black cloud of karma which is hanging over mankind, which we are so anxious to see dissipate before it is precipitated into physical expression. A call to prayer. The favorable response to President Roosevelt's proposals offers an open door through which the leaders and also the hearts of the nations can be reached. We therefore earnestly ask that the wave of international amity thus begun shall be reinforced, maintained continuously, and expanded by our students throughout the world, for above all others, they should be able to grasp the vital significance of the opportunity and understand the power of organized prayer, again, taking up the prayer for world harmony, whose repetition proved so effective in the former years, 1917 and 1922. and repeating it daily during their periods of meditation, for this is necessary if we desire the present wave of peace and international amity to be more than temporary, and if we are to prevent the karmic storm clouds now hovering over mankind from being precipitated upon the earth plane. Destruction menaces. As the master told us some time ago, the time has come when the power of cooperation and harmony among nations, when real brotherhood and divine love must and shall rule, and the mind of its ambition shall obey, when divine love shall be dominant, when the illumined mind shall be its servant and eager to do its will, the powers of destruction are preparing to manifest in a tremendous way on the earth's surface. Therefore, special efforts must be put forth to radiate peace, harmony, and brotherhood in such floods of radiant energy that it shall neutralize the evil and minimize the destructive character of the coming changes. If this great lesson can be really learned and manifested and put into daily practice by even a small portion of humanity, the whole world can pass through the great coming, crossing over the earth's forces, and really enter the Aquarian age quickly and without one half the catastrophes and destructions that will be absolutely necessary if this great lesson remains unlearned. Hi, we need to jump on this. Power of conscious prayer. Quote, with that thought clearly held in mind that these days shall be shortened, we can work toward the definite end. Realize that prayers thus consciously and understandingly used are not mere sequences of pious words, but are of a definite means of invoking spiritual fire and providing channels through which it can manifest in humanity. No need to ask God to save humanity from the results of its own creating. It is humanity itself that must save itself through the manifestation of its God powers, which are always ready at hand to be invoked and used by those who will make the effort. Else humanity could never gain self-mastery. Conditions never right themselves. They are righted only through the definite constructive action of certain persons or groups of persons who understand and unite to work wisely toward definite ends. Pause. Let's just go back for a second. The concept here that needs to be really absorbed is no need to ask God the outside expression of yourself to save humanity. We all think of it depends where you are in your spiritual journey, but a lot of people see God outside of themselves, not understanding God's within. You are a fractal of source. It is up to us, with the fractal of God within us, to express and put forward the energy, the will and intention to power, the cause and effect that we are putting out into our fields to manifest for ourselves and others around us this harmony. Asking God outside of self to save the world and bring peace is very far-fetched, and it's probably not going to manifest. But when you go inside yourself and pray to your higher self, and that's a thread through it to source, it's all tethered together, it's quantum entangled. You're going to give a ripple of energy from your will to power to your will to cause to the effect that will help humanity. You got to look at the energy. You got to imagine that wave. See it in your brain, see it in your imagination, see it when you're meditating and you're praying or whatever you do. when you're invoking that energy field, it's going to ripple out. This is how we become in our mastery initiates, walking through the levels of gaining this mastery. Understanding nothing is outside of yourself, it's all within. Understanding that God, yes, there you have your higher self, but you are tethered to it. I raised this book for a reason in the beginning, because this is showing you eventually you're going to be the guy that watches your lower selves, and you're going to be the guide for yourself. Like your higher self is a guide for you now. It's a very tough concept to think about. But when we're talking about the here and now, and we're reading this from 1917 and 22, we got to take into perspective all the knowledge that has been gained since then and apply what they have learned, their struggles, what they were going through at the time, to now. Back to the book. Positive effort needed. Quote, the whole world is today passing through a dense, smothering cloud of karmic dust, which has accumulated through the ages of wrong thinking and acting, wrong conceptions of the law of life. And alas, many are letting this dust so blind the eyes of their understanding that they believe that only through extreme selfishness, retaliation, and revenge can they end their injustice and suffering and let peace, brotherhood, justice, and prosperity reign. This idea is being so systematically propagated among the unthinking masses that unless some positive effort is made by those who know the law of life, harmony, and cooperation, those who see and feel and know that all such separative and destructive ideas will only result in a prolongation of the same conditions from which mankind has suffered so long. Together with all those who desire better conditions, all united in a persistent effort to make a firm stand on the principles of harmony and interdependence, which we see exemplified among the various organs of our bodies, the world is destined to rehearse once more. The terrible drama of destruction, death, and suffering, unspeakable, which is and has already passed through in so many cyclical periods of revolution, inaugurated in the name of freedom and reform. I'm getting a download, sorry guys. That right there is what I've been trying to preach on my channel. Okay, I'm being channeled. This is all right. I'm trying to like filter through what they're trying to get me to say. Sorry, guys. So the balance that we all need right now is I saw this yesterday in chat on one of our beautiful podcasts. I wasn't really home because I had a lot of things going on yesterday. But what I was capturing in just going and checking in and saying hi to everybody, there was a lot of hate, a lot of spew. And I couldn't hold on to my emotional state yesterday, so I put in what I came from. And how are you all smashing the very people that raised me, took care of me, and brought me up to be this beautiful woman standing in my empowerment and my light? How can you just ricochet all that negative, divisive shit in the chat without realizing it. It's still all of it is source playing a role. We all chose a role. We chose a religion. We chose a body. We chose a family. We chose all of this stuff. So how are you going to spew this hate when we're the ones that are supposed to help guide these very same people you hate into the understanding of what has been? If you do it in a detached, unbiased, on judgment way, where you're just saying, well, you were brainwashed. You were controlled. You didn't understand the programming that was in you, ingrained in you. You'll find that 90% of the people that you're hating on are the very people that had no idea. And we keep bringing this low vibratory state, even though we feel justified and we think we're bringing the light. We're not. We're feeding the darkness by separation. It's one thing to look at that side, don't take their BS or feed them. Move forward. How are we moving into the next venture that everybody's so excited to go to? It ain't gonna happen until we start creating this harmony, understanding the role that they all played in our awakening. We know there's a lot wrong in the world. We know what these people have done. And if there's new people out there, I suggest to go and watch WeNotMe, but also take in the understanding that there's a lot of people not on the level of understanding yet that keep feeding the very evil, even though they're trying to justify the right side. We need to come into harmony and come to a 0 point of understanding. If you want this new world to happen, if you want harmonious levels of joy and prosperity for all, doesn't mean all the ones that you picked or all the ones that you don't know what's in your soul tribe. It's a huge tribe. It's a huge pool of liquid gold. Source is everything. Stop looking outside of yourself. Stop separating everything. Stop dividing everything, because everything is one. And when you understand that and you completely go in within yourself to get that concept, we can move forward. It's scary right now. Back to the book. First to help. The first to work definitely with the spiritual powers, which are seeking to lift up the gates of ignorance and incalculate the constructive principles of the law of life, should be those advanced students whose consciousness can grasp and realize the law and its applications, as they have been set forth in our cosmic soul science, in the wide scope and variety of our philosophical and spiritual books and teachings. Combat wrong principles. Firstly, we must systematically spread the idea that it is wrong principles and rules of life we are to combat, not persons or peoples or races. We must also continually spread the idea that force, coercion, revenge, hatred, cruelty, even the repetition, and the clinging to the memory of wrongs we have suffered are destructive forces, which can only add and to never heal the wounds from which all the world is groaning today. Sorry, I'm breaking. Going back to this book, very vital that you people read this book. And the reason why is when they go back to revisit their past lives, they get brought to a climactic catalyst where the higher self is coming in, trying to guide that lower self into coming into a space of love instead of a fear. Their reactions, their consequences to those actions were done in this story. I'm not going to give all of it away, but this is something very important to add. When you're going back and doing your healing and you're going back and looking at events, you have to come out of a place from love, the love frequency. You have to make your decisions, whether it be very painful and catastrophic, you got to make those choices out of a place of love. If you're doing it out of a place of fear, the cycle continues and ricochets and ripples throughout your time space, experiences in other forms and other vehicles and other dimensions and densities. When you come back and you heal those wounds, you heal yourself, your trauma, and you come out of that from a place of love for self, unconditional love for all events and whatever the catalyst was that brought you to that point, bring it in through the love frequency. Because if you're not healing the wounds, you're still creating that web, that energy, that entanglement of the negative. Prayer and initiate instinct. An innate instinct. Quote, prayer is an innate instinct in the human soul and common alike to the savage and the most cultured and intellectual of mankind. It is therefore as natural for man to pray, especially in times of crisis, which transcends the power of the man to cope with, as to breathe or think. No selfish prayer. In this case, we are asking our readers to unite in prayer, not because they have been frightened at the prospect, not to save their own lives or even their own souls, but to help generate such a constructive spiritual power as will counteract the evil and destructive forces and thus help to save humanity from the suffering through which it helps pass its destructive forces are not neutralized. Currents generated, the uniting of thousands of hearts and minds to this definite end should generate a great current of dynamic spiritual force sweeping continuously around the world, for it is noon somewhere every minute of the day, which like a refreshing breeze should cool the heat of conflicting interests and blow off the karmic dust of the past, which is settling upon and blinding individuals and nations to the law of life, harmony, and cooperation. Thus, shall we be of practical psychological help in opening wide the everlasting doors and preparing for the quick coming of the King of Glory, not only into our own hearts and lives, but in the lives of nations and humanity as a whole. Unite on principles. Remember that the battle which is still raging in the world is a battle of principles, and the law of life must ultimately prevail, but it will prevail only after terrible calamities and renewed suffering to individuals, classes, and nations unless they unite to lift up their gates and permit the King of Glory to come in and help them transmute the clouds of karmic dust and in harmony into peace, brotherhood, and cooperation. Only as men open their hearts to him can he enter in and bring true peace. I agree with this, but there is upstairs is intervening here. The male masculine aspect of source is what we all consider him. I say here and now, we need to bring the male and the female entity together to be at one. So the glory of him or her, the glory of source. you got to realize that we're trying to balance that energy out now. So instead of saying him or her, balance it out with just saying prime creator. Upstairs is giving me that usher in. So, but you do what your heart sings. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to try to improve these principles by saying you're both got to balance both sides and come into neutrality and understand that energy. And we got to balance the he, she thing and make it one. Visualize the radiance. Quote, see the radiance which this prayer invokes, dispelling the clouds of inharmony as the sun dispels the fog, and stimulating the growth of the good in each heart as the sun stimulates the growth of the sprout when the fog has been dispelled and the sun can carry on its constructive work. Prayer for world harmony. Glory and honor and worship be unto thee, O Lord Christ, thou who art the life and light of all mankind. Thou art the King of glory, to whom all the peoples of the earth should give joyful allegiance and service. Inspire mankind with the realization of true brotherhood. Teach us the wisdom of peace, harmony, and cooperation. Breathe into our hearts the understanding that only as we see ourselves as parts of the one body of humanity can peace, harmony, success, and plenty descend upon us. Help us to conquer all manifestations of inharmony and evil in ourselves and in the world. May all persons and classes and nations cease their conflicts and unselfishly strive for peace and goodwill, that the days of tribulation may be shortened. Bless us all with the radiance of thy divine love and wisdom, that we may ever worship thee in the beauty of holiness. In the name of the living Christ, we ask it. Amen. The day of preparation. This is the day given you to prepare. Cry it from the housetops to those who know and can understand. The day is at hand. Shall it be a day of great peace, of wonderful illumination, a majority of Christ illumined ones? Or shall it be another cycle of darkness more terrible than that has passed in the world's history? For such and much has been given to mankind, and much will be required. Even to the worldly ones, much has been given. A great understanding has been poured forth. Out of mighty tribulation must and much is sensed and comprehended, hence much is required. A cycle of darkness. If this generation fails, then the whole system must pass once more down into the darkness from which it has so laboriously emerged. A blank ignorance will oppress humanity. Cruelty and deliberate tuning and turning from the light will wipe out all that civilization has obtained. Chaos will reign among people. Art and literature will be destroyed and forgotten. Great inventions that are only waiting for proper conditions to come forth for the benefit of humanity will be smothered in birth. That has already took place. From when this was written to now, we've been 1984. We're at this precipice again. What are you doing to help? Flip it. Look and decide. Look on the two pictures and decide where you stand. It is as though you were called to follow the colors. What will you do to help save civilization? Remember, it is not yourself that you must save, but our civilization. And they added in Christian civilization. But we are a civilization of many peoples, places, things, races, colors, and creeds. So we got to be inclusive. It's not a political ideology or being politically correct. It's knowing and understanding that it's not just one faith or one division of something that's going to be saving everybody. It's everybody saving each other through unity. It doesn't matter what you preach, what you focus on, what your faith is. You're God within. That's all you need to know. Worry and fear retard. Worry and fear only add to the world's misery. While every happy, courageous heart sows seeds of happiness and trust and courage in the hearts of others, those who elect to help shorten these days should send out their aspiration, love, and compassion in constant prayer, that it may dispel men's fears and teach them to trust utterly in God's guidance and their own. I'm adding that in. Cooperate in prayer. Therefore, we ask who will to use some such prayer as our prayer for the world's harmony, morning, noon, and night. Spread this idea as widely as possible, that its vibrations may affect and inspire the hearts of mankind, and particularly the leaders of nations. The use of this prayer or mantra will not only have a psychological effect according to the mental and spiritual forces we put into it, but it will also form an avenue in the body of humanity for the manifestations of the hierarchies of divine ones who have charge of the ushering in and the coming new age through which they can reach the minds and hearts of men. Not vain repetition. Remember that it is not merely repeating the words that brings the power, but repeating them with all the aspiration and spiritual power implanted in us by the eternal being in the beginning. It is not lip service the holy ones ask of us, but sincere effort and understanding prayer. Meditate and visualize. Pause after each sentence and meditate upon it, visualizing its radiance going out to all mankind, consuming all evil and stimulating all good, for it is only through softening the hearts of mankind, through the spread of the warmth of divine love and power of living Christ, that the evil can be overcome and these days can be shortened. Watch and expect results. Watch for the beginning of the changes. Watch and wait, believe in the power of the Christ. Be undoubted and true of your heart. Be strong and loving and faithful, not weak, fearful, and vacillating. Be not turned aside by earthly and materialistic concepts of the law of life. Bow not the knee to Baal, but understand and stand firm and apart in the temple of silence, and recognize your great opportunities to spread the light of truth, but not dismayed at any trial or disaster. Rest in confidence. Rest in peace and blessing, while opposition threatens you and cries out curses upon God and man. Pray for peace and plenty, while famine stalks through the land. Pray for peace and stability, while nations clash and continents disappear. For lo, the time is at hand when all that has been foretold shall shortly come to pass. Be ye therefore prepared. Be ye planted in the courtyard of the temple of the living God. Let none of these things affright or move you. Let not your hearts be troubled. Recognize your oneness with the divine. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. Will you enlist? Will you enlist in this great undertaking? Will you devote your life, your love, your understanding, your all to the solving of the greatest problem humanity has ever faced? To bring peace and harmony and cooperation out of the present day confusion, unbrotherliness, and war, that the one divine light may shine forth and illumine the hearts of all mankind? That ends that here. And next, we're going to read the symbology of the stars and stripes. what patriotness is going on here. But I've been screaming this in different ways on my channel for ever. It's up to you. It's up to you. Again, you don't need to take prayer. I was told very wisely when I'm doing prayer or meditation or mantras, if there are things that don't align with my heart space, to change the words, to project different ways, to do me, be authentic, walk in myself, because that is of source. So if there are things in that prayer you would like to change it, as long as the frequency and what you are emitting out into your field is genuine, sincere, and is in harmonious with the law of life and correspondence and every other law that is out in the universe, it's fine. I wouldn't expect our ancestors to do a Christian prayer. They're going to do it in their own way, but the intention is still the goal, is harmonizing this planet, is bringing us collectively to the frequency where Gaia already is. We have to meet her energy. She already ascended. She already moved up. We're going along on this ride. Are you on that train that's moving forward, but you're the fly that's trying to fly back in the train? So you're still moving with the train. You're just going backwards. What are you doing? What are you leading your heart with? There's a lot of ugly and nasty in this world. And we need to expose these things in a delicate manner and in ways that are in a harmonious tone. We need to look at that negative side to understand its source playing a role. We've all played. We were the bad people at one point in one of our lives. We've had those negative experiences because that's all it is. It's an experience. This is all illusion. Once you figure that out for yourself and dive deep within your soul to see, understand, and come within an alignment with your life and yourself, your heart, and everything and with you, the more frequency you're going to project out of you that's going to help other people realize the same things. None of this is easy. Self-exploration is not easy. And then understanding how you fit into a bigger capacity, how you fit into this national humanity role, where you live, the karma that comes along with it. There's a lot of layers to this. And when you start peeling back yourself and start seeing where you belong and what are you contributing to humanity, a bigger understanding and clarity will come over you. What are you doing each day to bring peace to this world and the harmony that we need to move forward? Or are we stirring the pot and still feeding them? Because they mention that. I mention it all the time. But if you don't want to hear it from me, you can read it in the book. It's up to you guys. I know I'm doing the work. I want to move forward. I'm not trying to look back here. I'm trying to learn from back here, but I'm also healing it and releasing it out of my life so that I can be able to move forward and bring in the harmony and prosperity that everybody here deserves. Can't do that if you're stuck back there and you're hating and you're dividing and you're being nasty. We're all one. When you really embody that understanding, you will see and you will stop spewing horrible, hateful things about other people, because that is an experience of God. You are perpetuating this negative if you keep feeding that. So let's move forward. Let's try to bring peace. Detach, transmute, and try to pray each and every day. And try to use these prayers. And if you need to reword it for what aligns with your heart space, go do that. But I would suggest doing this. I do it every day. So with that, guys, sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding and protection energy. Please be safe, be seen. Hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your week. Please continue to do the work. Amish mindset. Please support people who are trying to help humanity in any way that you can. A like, a subscribe doesn't hurt anybody to do. I do a lot of other people. I'm sharing and trying to expose other people. We all need each other. We all need to help. What are you doing? Try something each and every day, whether it's liking a video, that's helping someone else, sharing content, that's helping someone else. Any little thing you do is helping. So let's make that help expand. With that, I'll hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.